Alright guys, very sorry for being a little late on this one. The day before, this upcoming open world post-apocalyptic zombie game that came out of nowhere has now been unveiled once more at the IGN FanFest event this weekend. The gameplay was then exclusive to IGN's channel. I didn't really want to get in trouble, so I waited until the studio released the gameplay on their own. And it has now been released, so we're gonna watch it together. I've seen it only once, and I have the exact same feeling of when I had seen the first gameplay. It looks absolutely amazing, it truly does, but there's still something shady about it. At times it doesn't seem like a real gameplay, but a cinematic that's made to look like gameplay. Let's watch it and you'll see what I mean by that. Alright, let's see this the day before. Now remember throughout this whole video that it says in-game footage, right below. In-game footage, so it's supposed to be real gameplay. Which what makes it a bit weird, because it's an indie studio that really came out of nowhere. Just look how beautiful this is. This is like what The Division should have been before it was downgraded. Just look at the camera, how it moves. I know they want to make it look more beautiful, like in E3 demos when they move the camera smoothly, but this one just seemed fake. I don't know. If it's all real, then props to them, but I don't know, it's like the same game. The same scripted gameplay from the first one. This is all real, then props to them, man. Looks amazing.
Hey, motherfucker!
Alright. Don't pre-order for now. Just wait a little bit, please. Alright guys, let me know what you thought of this gameplay. It really is looking amazing if this is all real. My apologies to the developers if I'm wrong on that. For now, people watching this are 50-50 on the legitimacy of it all. I've talked about it in one of my recent videos where I said the developers of the day before have never made anything close to the scale of this project, with their past games being forgotten survival games on Steam and also one mobile game, and also the fact they're being published by a company who only published mobile games before. Publisher which also made beautiful CGI trailers for these mobile games. So this is why people are a bit skeptical of this gameplay. Though if the day before turns out real, here's all the details they've given from IGN FanFest. First off, the developers start by saying, "We at Fantastic believe that during a real post-apocalypse, there'll be lots of wonderful people who help others no matter what, but inevitably there'll be those who won't hesitate to use force. We tried to show this human nature in the game trailer, and while the looks at the day before so far have included plenty of tense action, there will be places of safety, namely the Woodbury Survivor Colony, where players can interact with other players, join groups, talk to some residents, take quests and have fun. We have an idea to make various events inside the colony during the holidays, so that the players get closer to each other and spend time celebrating holidays together. As the new trailer shows, you'll also be able to find brief bits of respite in more hostile territory to camp, sleep, cook, and generally relax before heading back into a brutal world. As for actual base building itself, the developers explained that classic resource-based building a hut out of stones and sticks is not so much what inspires them as something more akin to Nintendo's Animal Crossing. In the day before, we have the concept of a base different from other MMO survival games. As a hint, the developers really like the concept in that cute game where there is a greedy raccoon boss, the developer said. The new slice of gameplay is not all a breather for the player though, as after a quick ride outside, they quickly engage in a firefight. But rather than any HUD indicators leading the player to combat, they quite clearly have to naturally take in the world around them, paying careful attention to sound and other environmental clues. They go on to say, we pay great attention to the sounds in the game to make the game world appear realistic. Based on this, we have abandoned casual HUD indicators, and we are focusing on high quality surround sound, which is an important part of the credibility and atmosphere of the world, the developers explain. As the combat goes on, the showdown ends in a brutal takedown, a close-range shot to the face after the player has knocked down their opponent. While the developers note finishing moves aren't necessarily new to gaming, they hope they'll add a unique twist to the survival MMO genre. The game itself has multiple choices after the takedown, using different types of finishing moves depending on the weapon, healing, and tying up another player. And especially creative players will be able to come up with various other methods. They can down and tie up another player, and then attract the attention of a horde of zombies, who will happily dine on the character and so on, they explained. As for the gameplay's final shot of a mysterious, darkened hall and a doorway, the developers tease that locations like this will be like a cold show after a boiling hot day. And really, much of what Fantastic is aiming to do is hoping to bring something fresh and unique to the genre. It's no secret that most survival MMOs are all built on the sandbox model, when you set goals for yourself and wander around the desert world. In the day before, they reinvented everything from the in-game goals to the way they approach the quality of the game mechanics, the developers noted again. So at its core, The Day Before is an upcoming open-world post-apocalyptic zombie game, which is The Last of Us meets The Division. The reveal of this game was a bit of a surprise for most of the gaming community. As Fantastic, the game's developers is best known for Dead Dozen, which never made it out of Steam Early Access, also a mobile adventure game, Radiant 1, and the survival game The Wild 8, which received mixed reviews. The Day Before obviously has a much grander scale than anything they've done in the past, and make sure you guys let me know what you thought of this new gameplay footage that has just been shown. Now, The Day Before is an open-world MMO survival set in a deadly, post-pandemic America overrun by flesh-hungry infected and survivors killing each other for food, weapon, and cars. You wake up alone in a world you no longer remember, setting out to find answers and the resources to survive. You will search abandoned vehicles, houses, and skyscrapers as you scavenge for any small resources you can find in this very dangerous and dark world. You'll also be able to explore beautiful yet dangerous locations like snowy regions, cities, villages, and forests with stunningly detailed vehicles, and take part in the restoration of the former society before it is too late, as said by the game's main description. I really hope this is all true because it sounds amazing. In the survivor colony, you can sell your loot and communicate safely with other players. It's some kind of hub where you're safe from the outside world. You'll also need to take part in the restoration of the former society before it is too late. Players have different things they need to keep in mind in order to survive, including what appears to be the cold, energy, and either hydration or blood and food. Much of the gameplay is likely going to revolve around making sure to have enough supplies that none of those dip down to dangerous levels, and the weapons, ammo, and gas to put players in a position to obtain these things. Alright guys, for more on this project, definitely drop a like on this video, and of course tell me what you guys thought of all of this. Also subscribe to stay tuned. Thanks to Space Beer Gaming, Rush Shingbati, I Am Legend, Diamond Hunter 45, Themistocles, Rickno23, and Kianzo Fagari for being a master member on the channel. You can become a survivor member for as low as 99 cents a month. It'll help me and the channel as a whole to make more and better videos.